Hey, what's up guys? It's your girl Kimology. I am from Kansas City, Missouri, and I am a creative influencer. I grew up in Kansas City. I grew up in a huge family. I'm actually adopted. I was adopted when I was a month old. And coming from a big family is a lot of different personalities. And so because my mother was the eldest of 5 girls on her side, everyone met at our house. And my dad had a camcorder, and I just remember at our barbecues that we would have, my aunts would pretend to be like different characters like Miss America, and I would be like Oprah Winfrey, and I would ask them questions, and it just kind of came natural to me. Like, I don't know, I liked interviewing my aunts even though they were pretending to be other people. And so at that age, that's when I kind of started wanting to be like, you know, this host of my own show. But I was shy at the same time, so it was so weird. Like, I loved music, I love the arts, and I'd love to be on stage, but at the same time, like, behind closed doors, like, I was like, ah, like, I was so shy. And even I remember too, growing up, the Talk Boy, Macaulay Culkin had it on, what's the movie, Home Alone. I pretended to be the Jackson 5. And then I was also the host, so I would like change voices. I want to find that tape, Jake. I can't find it. But from there, it just progressed to like choir and things like that. And I don't think I did a lot of acting at that age, like as far as like my childhood is concerned. But that's really where it started for me. And it's weird because I thought I wanted to be a pediatrician and play with fat babies all day, but like as I got older, I realized, that's not what I really want to do. So yeah, between just music, between, you know, interviewing people, pretending and stuff like that, and even just watching, my mom would watch Turner Classic Movies too. And I would watch like Shirley Temple movies and Barbra Streisand, like Hello Dolly. I mean, I was watching everything, and I loved musicals. So music, theater, acting, all that kind of stuff, being in front of people, even though I was super shy, was my thing. So
how did you overcome being shy to be in front of people?
I don't know. I'm still shy sometimes. No, I'm not. I don't know. I think I just kind of grew out of it once I kind of embraced that, okay, I can kind of sing, and okay, I can kind of perform or be in front of people, and it kind of just rolled off my back. And the key is to look at a wall and not look at people's faces. So there's that.
You look at a wall. You
just look at a wall, a clock, a bull's head on the wall, and just focus on that, and you'll get through it. I went to Grandview High School. I did go to Scion my first year, but I transferred to Grandview High School.
I went to Hickman Mills. So
did you really?
Yeah,
okay, we're cousins.
We are, yeah. Yeah, so you graduate Grandview High.
Yes.
Then what?
I went to the University of Missouri-Columbia, and I was a mass communication, journalism, media major there, and I did terrible because this was the first time I had been able to get away from being at home. I'm not saying I had a terrible childhood by any means, but my dad was just a normal father with his daughter. Like, no, you can't be out past a certain time. Meanwhile, my friends could be out till 2 a.m. and I'm like, oh, this is whack. And so I couldn't wait to leave, so I went to Mizzou, and I barely went to class. and which was was terrible because they have journalism school there, and so I totally just blew that opportunity. But I transferred to UMKC, and I did just fine. So was more focused. It's smaller. It's not a lot of cute guys at UMKC either. So I'm sorry. Ooh, sorry. Yikes. Like, you go to college and you think, oh, I'm gonna have this high-paying job as soon as I leave. Like, it's like structured a certain way. You go to high school, you go to college, and boom, you have this nice salary career or whatever. And that is not what happened. I was working at the most craziest places that paid you barely anything. So I didn't have a plan, and it's because I didn't know what I really wanted to do. All the while, I was starting to sing background vocals for Lee Langston. He's a singer here. I was singing on choruses for rappers here as well. And so it's like I didn't know what I wanted to do post-college, but I was already kind of doing cool stuff on the side. But it was second nature to me. So I was just doing it, and then I'd be like, okay, where am I gonna work? But I could never just pinpoint. Like, I tried working at this video editing company where I was editing reels and things like that, and it was cool, but I'm like, this is like, I don't want to work for anyone. And I just kept having to like change jobs, and because some people laid you off, and I may have gotten fired a few times. It happens. It wasn't until like my 30s to where I was like, I just have to create my own lane. And I know, even though I'm great at it, I know I'm not supposed to be working for anyone. It's just, I just feel like I'm supposed to be an entrepreneur. So, I don't know. I just always felt like I was too, this is not to be cocky, but I just felt like I was just too big for certain spaces. And people would sometimes even be like, are you supposed to be here? Like, they would just look at me like, you're not supposed to be doing this. You're not supposed to be doing customer service. And yeah, like I said, it wasn't until my early 30s to where I was like, yeah, I just need to do my own thing. I started my own podcast while still working because I have bills. And I named it the Kimology Show, and it was just me talking. And I was editing on GarageBand, and I had my own song, and I had segments and ads. Like, I was just doing this stuff. I never did this before, but again, it was just second nature. Like, I knew what I wanted to produce, and people listened to it. And before I even had my own podcast, I did it with a friend, and he got super busy. It was called Sicker Than Your Average Podcast. And then he moved to Atlanta, and I did my own thing, and I named it Kimology. And people were like, yo, we want to see your face because you're so animated. And I was like, okay. So in 2020, in the summer of the pandemic, or as I call it, the panoramic, I created my own show where I wanted to create a platform for artists, black artists, because I felt like there wasn't enough spaces for us, and to be celebrated, to be promoted, to be advocated for. So that's where that came in, and I told myself, okay, I'm gonna do this for a year. So stepping away from the podcasting, I created a YouTube show called Kimology, and that's when I was interviewing all the artists. And it's crazy because I did it for a straight year, and before I hit a year, I got a Woman of Courage award from the ladies of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, and then I was nominated for a Kansas City People's Choice Award, and I actually won. And I'm like, oh snap. Okay. And so that is still something that I do, and yeah, that's what I've been doing.
Wow.
It just happens so naturally, and that's what's so beautiful about when you're like walking in purpose. things just start happening. I was too afraid to ask these artists to be on my show. I am not Oprah. I don't want to say I'm a nobody, but I didn't have enough work under my belt visually for artists to be like, oh, well, let me check out your Instagram, let me check out your YouTube, and then I'll come on your show. People were like, yeah, of course, I would love to. It was just always positive feedback. It was not one person that was like, no, I'm not coming on your show. And it's just been up from there, and I love to do it. So, well, I'm always, as a creative influencer, I'm always trying to find ways to improve. And so with the Kimology Show, I'm actually recording something this Sunday, pretty much for the rest of the year, with more artists, and this time they get to perform on my show, like a tiny desk kind of vibe, which is super cool. I was nominated for a Kansas City People's Choice Award. I did not win this year, but it's fine. And I hosted the red carpet, which was so much fun. I had never done anything like that, so I know that's going backwards, but that was something that was super cool. And then I was nominated for a Pinnacle Prize award. I don't find out till like October, and you get $100,000. Okay, all right, Jake. Okay, right? We need the money. And other than that, I really want to get into film and get into web series and things like that. So trying to juggle having a show while still trying to find a way to delve into film. I really want to build my own network ultimately. So yeah, I just want to create inspiring projects for people, like relatable content for people to look at and see themselves in it and things like that. So I'm really trying to dig a little deeper within myself and write. And I directed my first music video in July with the artist LJ. He's a singer and a rapper. His name is Romy Rome. And yeah, that was a lot of fun, and I definitely want to delve in that too a lot more. So it's like I'm in front of camera, but I want to be behind the camera as well moving forward. So yeah, I truly believe that the purpose that God has given all of us, we see it in our childhood, and it develops then, and it just keeps getting stronger and stronger as we get older. I would say listen to yourself, trust yourself, in knowing that like you can create your own path. You don't have to, you can if you want, but you don't have to go to college and just to figure out who you want to be or where you want to be. Like 9 times out of 10 without even having to go through college. And I'm not saying college is bad. I'm not saying that at all. But there's just, so trust yourself more than anything. And don't overthink. I am a huge overthinker. That I overthink myself out of so many creative ideas and moments that I could have been doing when I was in my 20s, but at the same time, delayed is not denied. And though I wish I could have figured all that out in my 20s, I know for sure now, and that's all that matters. I always thought I was a late bloomer, but no, not really. And so you just really have to just trust yourself more than anything. There's that part of you that's like, hey, you need to be doing this, do it. And just don't ignore it. Act on it. Don't overthink it. You have the resources. The hardest part is usually just starting. As long as you just start, those resources will come. Those people will come along the path. The biggest thing that I feel like God wants us to do is just start and be fearless with it. Don't worry about the views if you're a creative influencer. Don't worry about wherever you are, whatever field you may be in. Don't worry about the outcome. Just start. Just do it. And like I said, on the way, you'll start figuring things out and you'll learn. And yeah, just gotta keep blooming. That's what I tell everybody all the time, is just to keep blooming. So. There's so many amazing artists here. DJ Sleepy Beats, Kimit, he's a rapper. Jazz Couch, she's amazing. She plays the bass. She's actually going to be in my show. Royal Chief, he's another rapper. Roblo the Star, she's a rapper. Man, I know a lot of cool people.
Wow.
Yeah.